What is going on, guys? My name is CJay and welcome to my new Tier 1 Corrupted Gauntlet guide. So in this video, what we're going to talk about is the recommended and required stats plus quests. We're also going to do an intro into what you'll be doing inside the minigame just to get a gist of things before we jump in. And last, I'm going to do a full step-by-step walkthrough of my prep and Hunllef kill. Now, in this video, there's going to be a lot of tips and tricks scattered throughout, but if you're just here to see the walkthrough, feel free to skip to the time shown on the screen. Now let's get into it. So first, let's get started with the recommendations and requirements for this minigame. The only requirement is going to be the completion of the Song of the Elves quest. Now this quest does have a huge array of high-level skill and quest requirements in order for you to complete. If you want to see all these skill and quest requirements, I'll leave a link down to the RuneScape wiki below. Now the recommendations for this minigame are a bit beefy. I highly recommend you at least have 90 plus in all attack styles with at least 80 defense and Rigor or Augury unlocked. Now for the Ironman out there without Rigor or Augury, you're going to want to be close to maxed for consistent completions at this game. If you don't have these combat levels or prayer books, maybe look into a tier 2 prep instead. So before we get started with the walkthrough, I want to do a quick overview of this minigame. This minigame can be broken out into 3 separate parts. First is going to be the prep for the demi-bosses. In this step, you're going to want to follow the blue line on screen, and we're going to go around Hunllef's room gathering basic materials to build tier 1 armor and weapons. This is our prep for the second step, which is killing the demi-bosses. To kill the demi-bosses, they can only be found in the outer edge of the map, as seen as the red line on screen. In this step, we're going to be gathering materials in order to build higher level weapons, in order to complete the third step, which is the boss fight, also known as Hunllef. So to recap the first step of this minigame, it's really rather easy. You're just going to go around Hunllef's room collecting these basic materials. First, you're going to need a weapon frame, which is randomly dropped from any of the minions that you see. Next, you're going to need 3 bark, 3 ore, 3 friend roots, 3 herbs, if you can get them. This can also be done in later steps, and 200 shards, which are typically collected while gathering the other materials. Lastly, you're going to want to fill the rest of your inventory with fish. This is typically around 9 to 11 fish once you have the other materials in your inventory. In the second step of this minigame, you're going to want to run around the outer ring of the room. In this step, what we're going to be collecting is weapon frames and weapon upgrades. These are guaranteed from demi-bosses. Next, as many shards as you can get, also guaranteed from fishing and demi-bosses. Third, herbs if you didn't receive them in step 1. Again, you'll need at least 3 herbs. And last, fill the rest of your inventory with fish. And this is going to be the prep for the Hunllef kill. Now what you should know about the demi-bosses is there are 3 different demi-bosses. First, the Dark Beast. He hits with range and also drops the range weapon. Next is going to be a dragon. He also hits with mage and drops a magic weapon. And last is going to be a bear. This is safe spottable, and he's going to drop a melee weapon or hit with melee. So the third step of this minigame, and easily the hardest part, is going to be the Hunllef kill. Now, before we get started, I highly recommend you turn on game audio because everything that I talk about down below does have a sound cue, which makes it a little easier to see and hear. So the first thing you should know about Hunllef is he does switch between mage and range attacks every 3 attacks, and he'll always start with range when you walk in the room, so make sure you're praying Protect from Missiles right when you walk in. The second thing you should know about Hunllef is he does switch protection prayers, somewhat randomly, so you're going to want to pay attention to his overheads at all time to make sure you're not attacking with the wrong attack style. The last thing you should know about Hunllef is he does have 2 special attacks, one which can only be used during the mage phase. He's going to shoot a purple orb at you that will drop your protection prayers that you can instantly turn back on afterwards. And then next he's going to send tornadoes around the room. These tornadoes can do quite a bit of damage, so you're going to want to avoid these at all costs. And now we can get started with the walkthrough. Alright, so now it's time for the fun part, which is going to be the full walkthrough. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the Corrupted. First you're going to want to walk to the north. Just to go around the boss here, I'm going to attack these minions to try and get the weapon frame. I'm going to flick Piety, hopefully to get the frame, but looks like I got a little unlucky. I did get a Grime Leaf, which is the herb though, which is very good because oftentimes you don't run around the first phase getting all 3 herbs. I got all 3 herbs in the first room and another herb there. A little unlucky on the weapon frame though, I killed 2 and didn't get one. Typically, like, if you kill 3, there's a very good chance that you already have the weapon frame. Hopefully I get lucky just because I'm doing the walkthrough and trying to commentate all at the same time, but yeah, we'll see if that happens. So here in the southwest corner, you can see I picked the cotton, or the wool, I guess, the cloth. That's going to be used for the creation of the armor, as well as the ore is also used for the armor, which I just realized I mined too much ore. But whatever. Get some bark for the armor, and now I have all the pieces for the armor that I need. So I don't need the cloth, I don't need any more deposits. You just need 3 ore, 3 bark, and 3 of the wool, or cloth. Here I'm going to fish. That's just because you need 9 to 11 fish. I don't have the weapon frame yet, so I'm going to kill these. Hopefully get it. What the weapon frame does is it allows you... Get that weapon frame real quick. It allows you to make a weapon after the first phase, so when you're killing the demi-bosses, you have a slightly better weapon in order to do that. So now you can see I have everything I need. I have my weapon frame, I have my 3 herbs, and I have the bark, ore, and cloth to make my armor. So I'm just going to fill the rest of my inventory up with fish here. As you can see, I walked fully around the boss. Ideally, you want to do that because these are all going to be lower level monsters. The further out you go, the higher level the monsters are going to be. So you want to avoid that at first because it's going to be very difficult to kill those monsters with just this corrupted scepter. So with all that, I want to make my first batch of stuff. So I'm going to make my bow. I'm going to make the armor. And 3 vials. Alright, and then I'm going to fill my vials with water. Drop my fish here for some extra inventory. Use the herbs on the vials. And then here, your secondary is going to be just breaking down these shards into dust, and you use those on the Hunllef potion. So I don't need my pestle mortar anymore because I already made my potions. I actually don't need this axe anymore since I already chopped my logs. So now I'm just going to keep going until I'm at the outer rim. That way I can find the demi-bosses. So this is officially the start of the second phase of this boss, if you watched the earlier part of this video, which is killing the demi-bosses to get the upgraded weapons. But like I said, while I'm at it, I found some fishing spots. You want to fill most of your inventory up with fish because there really isn't much more that we need. You're just going to pick up some like 4 items for upgraded weapons, so I don't need much inventory here. Alright, so keep going north. Do we get lucky? Nope. No demi in the first room. But there are a few fishing spots, so I don't have to go hunting for those later. Go ahead and hit those real quick. Alright, that should be good. I'll just leave the rest for my upgrades. So now I'm just going to walk around the outside rooms. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of lag here. Yep, game lag. So you know they're not the you know they are the outside rooms because you can't walk any further out. So there's no doors here to walk through. Alright, still getting unlucky with the demis. So these potions are prayer potions and staminas. You can see I was about to run out of run energy, so I wanted to make sure to drink one of those potions. This is a timed minigame, so you don't want to run out of time. You can't afford to be walking around looking for these demi-bosses. Alright, and there's my first demi-boss. So I got the dragon, which is the major. He only attacks with mage, so even if you're in melee distance, he will not melee you. He also drops the mage weapon, so he's going to drop a corrupted orb. I'm going to need the weapon frame. The weapon frame is used to build the initial weapon, so I use my initial one to build the bow. I pretty much always do this just because I think it's the best DPS. So you just need the weapon frame for the first part, and then for the upgrades, you don't need additional weapon frames. So since he's going to drop the upgraded mage weapon, I'm going to need 1 weapon frame to make the staff initially, and then I'll use my extra shards and the item that he's going to drop, the corrupted orb, to upgrade it further. Oh, he's not dead yet. Don't whack me. He whacked me. Okay. Alright, so I get the shards, I get the orb, I get the weapon frame. And we keep rolling. No demi-boss in this room. Still unlucky with the demi-bosses. But we have 2 minutes. That's going to give us ample time to create our upgrades and cook our food. So I'm not that worried about it yet, unless we keep getting unlucky, which we get the Dark Beast. So the Dark Beast is the range boss, so you want to make sure you protect from missiles. He also drops the range weapon. And then the last one that we didn't see in this video is the bear. So the bear is a meleeer. You can safe spot him pretty much anywhere. Like even like this wall, you can use as a safe spot. Just stand like right on this tile right here, and he'll like be lured over there and safe spotted. So you don't even have to protect for melee on him. You start with this teleport seed, so I just want to use that to get back super quick. Go ahead and upgrade my bow, and then make a staff, upgrade the staff, further upgrade the staff, further upgrade the bow. And then I can drop all this extra stuff because I don't need it anymore. Pick up my fish that I dropped earlier. Drink a prayer because I'm running low. And then it takes 12 seconds to cook a full inventory. That's good to know because if you only have like 30 seconds left and you have to make your upgrades, you want to make sure that you make it before the 12-second mark. That way you can cook your full inventory. And then if you run out of time, if the time hits 0, it'll just teleport you straight in, which isn't exactly ideal, but it's not the worst thing either. So here, as a new player, you're going to want to wait for him to be in the corner. That's actually fine. So you wait for him to be in any corner here. That way it just makes the rest of the run a little bit easier. So you can see I started with Protect from Range. He's going to watch this animation. And did you hear that? That's how you know he switched to his mage attacks, or switched attack styles in general. So every 3 attacks he switches. See, he does that animation again. So he's ranging. Just avoid the tornadoes. Switch to mage there. He switched his overhead. Oh, I got slapped there. So you saw that purple attack, that was his special attack. It drops your prayer. I kind of just didn't hear it, so I didn't know it was coming. He can't hit over a 13 through prayer, so as long as you have at least 13 health and you have the correct prayers on, you're going to be fine. There's that special again. This time we got it. Alright, and then just keep doing DPS. During those tornadoes, typically I don't attack, I just try to heal to full and avoid the tornadoes. Here I'm kind of getting a little overconfident and trying to do some damage during the tornado phases. I'll actually stop doing that now just for the purpose of this video. So this is what you should do, especially as a new player. You're gonna want to just make sure you don't take tornado damage, heal to full. And that's it. Now you can see the floor has been lighting up too. I forgot to talk about this at the beginning. So the floor, when it's lit up red, it doesn't do damage to you, but like you saw there, when it turns yellow, it does do damage to you. So you want to make sure you're trying to avoid that at all times. It gets a little tricky during the tornadoes because sometimes where you need to go is lit up and kind of traps you, I guess, but for the most part, they're pretty easily avoidable. Alright, keep doing DPS here. He switched to Prey Mage. I'm gonna have to pay some attention here to make sure I get this kill. I think there was a period of time where I just had my range weapon out and he was praying range the whole time because I wasn't focused, but that's okay. Took my prayers off with that purple attack. Back to tornadoes. So you typically want to try to avoid like locking yourself in a corner like that, but with some experience you kind of figure out where you're going to be safe and not safe. I would try and stay on this edge when you have them trapped in the corner like that, but that's okay. We survived, so. Alright, come over here. Pray range. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Took some tornado damage, so that's what it sounds like when you take tornado damage. Alright, so during the... Ooh. Focus up. Alright, so when you see them, the floor in the corner like this, you just want to stand 3 tiles out from any of the doors. That's gonna... The tiles will never spawn there, so I can just stand here the whole time. I don't have to worry about the tiles. This is also like kind of the, I guess you can call it the 4th phase of the boss. Ooh. Focus up. Kind of a lot going on, so I want to make sure I stay alive here. Alright, and I'm just going to go 3 tiles out from the door again. And I'm perfectly safe here. I don't have to worry about the floors. I just have to make sure I'm praying correctly. And doing the right damage. So he switches here. I know he's going to switch to mage because it's every 3 attacks. Just keep doing DPS. I only have 3 fish here. He has 87 health. Hopefully I can finish this off. Like I said, typically if you're fully focused, it's really not that big of an issue, but I was trying to talk during this, and it makes it a bit harder. Oh, that's not good. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, hopefully we just killed it right here. Ooh, we're really cutting this close for the video. Alright, and as you can see, the boss is dead. So at the end, we just go over and hit our rewards. And that's pretty much it. Never lucky, unfortunately. No enhanced there, but that's okay. So if you enjoyed this guide, please think about leaving a like. This video was also made during the time the Guardians of the Rift was coming out, so if you're curious about starting Guardians of the Rift, I did make a guide last week on it. It's a relatively simple guide, easy walkthrough. I know the minigame seems kind of daunting at first, because I don't know, some of the other YouTube guides are a bit overcomplicated. I really simplified this one down. A lot of people seem to like it. So if you are interested in starting Guardians of the Rift, please check that out. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Thanks. Bye.